Good afternoon, everyone. So today I'm going to discuss about how we can improve lifestyle the holistic way. So first of all, first I would like to start with let's say the fight between Louis Pasteur and Antoine Bechamp, which are actually one of the greatest French biologists. And basically, Pasteur believed that we are ill because our body is invaded by germs. On the other hand, Bechamp believed that germs are a permanent, unavoidable component of our bodies, and we get ill when the body natural homeostasis is compromised. Some stories are saying that in the end of Louis Pasteur's life, he actually, on his deathbed, he admitted that he was wrong. But I feel like nowadays we have the same problem with everything that's happening in the world, with COVID problems is actually the same problem. Basically, Pasteur invented one of the vaccinations. And what Anton Bechamp actually was trying to emphasize was that it's really, really important to keep our body really, really healthy. Otherwise, regardless how many injections are you taking, is not going to work out. And a good example would be if you are thinking of a bowl with a fish, you're not going to try to inject the fish, you're trying to clean the bowl. Now, obviously, there could be many, many exceptions to the rule, but in general, this is what the holistic medicine is trying to do. Try as much as possible to keep your body really, really healthy. And then only if you cannot treat it, then obviously we're going to go the route of medication, injections, and so on. Basically, most of us, we are born healthy. Again, of course, there are exceptions when you have certain, unfortunately, certain genetic disease, and then you don't have a choice. You need to start on, severe medication since you are really young. But if you are born healthy, it's really up to us to maintain ourselves healthy. And when we are thinking of health, it involves so much more. Unfortunately, most of people, feel like they could have whatever food they want. They could not train much, and if they are sick or if they feel something wrong with their body, then they go to the doctor, they take certain pills, and then everything is sorted. But in reality, it's not really like this, because many times, unfortunately, in regards to cancer, for example, by the time you find out that you have it, by the time you find out that, or even by the time you find out, certain symptoms in your body, it could be too late. Not to mention that sometimes you might not even have symptoms, unfortunately. So it's more than ever really, really important to look after our health, because nowadays, at least, most of us, we have more time. So we were able to maybe, let's say, research more. We had more time to go outdoors for our training sessions. We had in hand so many online, why not, fitness programs. And I feel that now fitness industry is at its peak. So talking about this, I would like more to first to emphasize on the, as we call them, naturopathic principles. So basically, these are the principles that the most famous naturopaths kind of are treating their patients around. Excuse me. So the first one would be the healing power of nature, which basically is also called the vital force. And second one would be prevention is actually preferable to cure. And this is coming from traditional Chinese medicine. Third one would be the root cause of dysfunction has to be identified and treated, and not the symptoms. For example, let's say someone has chronic constipation, but they come to the doctor complaining that they have really bad headaches. A naturopath, a good naturopath, has to realize that constipation is actually the problem, and constipation is the one that has to be addressed, and not the headache. Because if you are treating the constipation, the headache would go away. Then the next one would be the whole person is treated, and not just the disease. So we need to look at their physical problems, if they have any pain. We need to look at their mental problem, if they have any distress, if they have anxiety, if they have a trauma from childhood, if they have certain maybe problems recent in their life, maybe they are grieving, maybe they have some exams, maybe they have some problems in their relationships, with their relationships. Then emotionally, again, some people could be more emotional than others. And we really need to realize that we need to learn to be able to go over challenges and not expect the moment when everything is going to be perfect in our life, because it's not going to happen. It's always going to be something, you know. Then spiritually as well, probably you realize nowadays how important it is, your maybe mindfulness exercises, your meditations, your breathing techniques, prayers, whatever you are into. These are really, really important to calm you down. So I would really, really advise everyone that feels stressed to take some of this on. I know not everyone is into certain techniques like these ones, but nowadays we have a really, really huge variety of meditating techniques, and I'm sure you can find something that would be suitable for yourself. Then the person is treated and not the disease. So this is really, really important, because every single person is different. So even when two people could have the same disease, they could have different reasons why they got that disease. So this is really, really important to look at the reasons why they got in that place. Also, all disease start with the disruption of homeostasis, meaning if something is out of balance, then you're going to be sick. And the example I would like to give here, for example, if your body is in acidic state, obviously every single thing in your body could go wrong. Now, I'd just like to give some examples, just if some of the listeners are not really familiar with what acidic means. So basically, when your body is acidic, you are really predisposed to get a lot of illness. And the foods that create the body to be acidic would be something like cigarettes, coffee, alcohol, and meats, processed foods. As you probably know already, everything that is bad for you, we know already, and most of the things they are tasty. I remember a really famous American personal trainer. He said that everything that's tasty is bad for you. It doesn't have exactly to be exactly like this, but unfortunately, most of the time, this would be the case. And in relation to alkaline foods, this would be again the foods that we know already they're really healthy for and good for us. Vegetable, fruits, with very few exceptions. Even lemon, even though you could think it's acidic, is considered alkaline. Then all the nuts, seeds, you know, and good oils, all the good fats as well, you know, would be good for your body. Lentils, nuts. Then another point that I would like to say here, that the state of our health is actually a product of the internal environment and not outside. Okay, so for example, you go out and you catch a cold. It's not actually the cold that makes you sick, it's your low immune system. Okay, so obviously you have to think, okay, next time I'm going to wrap up myself a bit better. That's absolutely fine. But you also have to think, okay, I need to eat healthier. I need to supplement with maybe vitamin C, zinc, vitamin D on a winter season, or maybe even something stronger like echinacea, maybe. Excuse me. And also, I would like to mention here that 80% of diseases are caused by toxins. Okay, now unfortunately nowadays, many times, you know, it's not necessarily our fault with what we eat, because, you know, the food is not as healthy as it used to be. We should try to consume organic food as much as possible, because unfortunately, even when it's organic, most of the time it's just like 51% organic and it's considered organic. So basically, it doesn't have the really harmful pesticides. I would really advise as much as possible to try to shop local. You know, if you have maybe market in your town, go to the butcher, you know, this type of things, you know, would be much, much healthier. Unfortunately, most of the time, the fruit that looks the best, they are actually the worst. Okay, so do not look for maybe the biggest red shiny apples. You know, look for the quality is really really important, and not necessarily for the best packaging. And I think it's very very important to learn to read the labels. Okay, so when you buy a product, I would like you to look at the ingredients. That's the most important thing. I don't want you to look at low fat or no fat or rich in protein, or these things are relevant. You have to understand that these things are just branding techniques. Okay, this is really really important, and it's more important the quality of your food and not necessarily what type of food. You know, you don't have to think there is a brand now and you're going to say, okay, I'm going to give up meat forever, or I want to be vegan. It's absolutely fine if you want to be vegetarian, vegan, all of them are absolutely fine, but you need to think of the reason, and whatever you do is important, the quality. So the examples that I have here, for example, if someone would like to be a vegetarian, but instead of having a lot of vegetable and salads, all they do is eliminate the meat, and they could have just white bread with pasta or a lot of things that are not quite nutritionist. You need nutrition, excuse me. Then this won't be good for you at all. On the other hand, if you really like to have meat, it could be okay as long as the meat you have is organic and is purchased from the right place. So it's really, really important. Whatever you do, do it well. If you do, you know, a vegan diet, is absolutely fine. And obviously it can be the healthier, especially if you have certain illnesses, but you have to be really important. You have to be really careful, and it's really important to make sure you take all the nutrients, maybe supplement with vitamin B12 and everything that is kind of like a new trend. I'm not talking necessarily here about vegan because it is on for a while. I really want you to start researching a lot, because many times certain things that are considered to be fine, in a while, you know, you realize that they were actually really damaging for your body. But unfortunately, it's taking sometimes years of trials until it's going to be considered officially bad for you. Okay, for example, if you think of Atkins diet, you know, yeah, it is amazing. You can lose a lot of weight, but later on they realized that, you know, certain people, they were having a lot of double cream or a lot of bacon every single day. At some point, you could have, you know, some heart problems. So it's really, really important to look at all the aspects. And what I really advise you to do in regards to diets, I think it's really important to have a look at the different diets out there if you really want to follow someone, and try to take what's the best from each of them and let out everything that's bad. You know, I don't know how much sense it makes, but I think this would be the best. My conclusion is here: do not do something extreme unless you have a certain reason. For example, certain individuals, they will have epilepsy, or they are autistic. It's been proven that, you know, doing ketogenic diet could be really good for them, and you know, they could be cured. But by doing this, obviously I'm not advising you, everyone that has these illnesses, to go on these diets. I suppose you realize that what's happening right here in the seminar, you know, we just advise certain things, and we don't want to treat anyone. And obviously, if you like to get into something like this, you need to talk to your doctor and do everything under under supervision. In regards to working out, to training, again, it has to be the same thing. I think it's really important to do a bit of everything. Most of people nowadays, I think they are focusing on one thing only, and I think it's important to do a bit of everything. You know, it's good to do resistance training. It's good to do cardio, flexibility, mobility, yoga, pilates. You know, a bit of everything is really really important, because each of them are working different in your body. Okay, so for example, if you're thinking of running, you know, it's great for your mental health, but maybe if you like to burn a lot of fat, maybe walking fast would be ideal. So first of all, you need to think what's the reason you are doing something. But you know, accepting this situation when you have a certain goal, or a reason to do a certain workout, I really advise you to try to do a bit of everything, like to have a bit of variety. And it's same thing in relation with foods. It's really really important to, when you eat, that's why most of nutritionists, they're recommending, for example, when you have fruits and vegetables, to have all the colors, because each of them are doing something different for your body. Now, it's true that some of them are more nutritious than the other, and most of nutritionists, would agree that green vegetables, dark green vegetable, will have the most nutrition, but still do not give up anything else. Also, what I really, really like you to pay attention with, if you have certain illnesses, or if some of the listeners, are personal trainers, or starting into nutrition, it's really, really important to assess your clients very, very well, because certain product that could be very healthy for an individual that has some health issues, it could be very, very damaging. So this is very, very important. That's why everything in regards to training in nutrition has to be really individualized. You're not just going online and copy something, because it's a lot of, let's say, pressure nowadays, and social media, and many times you see certain people being really successful or having a really nice body, and that's just let's say a fraction of the things they are doing, and you cannot just copy someone 100% on what they're doing. And in relation to holistic treatments, there are so many holistic treatments, so I'm going to go over some of them. Okay, so we have homeopathy, and homeopathy would be the type of treatment where they call it like treat like. So for example, just a simple example, something like if you would have an insomnia, it could be treated with actually coffee. I know it sounds really interesting, and actually vaccination is going over this principle. You get a little bit of a certain virus, bacteria, whatever it could be, and then the body recognizes, and your immune system is going to attack the pathogens, so if they are coming. Okay, so then we have acupuncture. I suppose most of people are really familiar with acupuncture, acupressure. We have massages, chiropractors, osteopaths, diets, as well, which we spoke a little bit about it. Psychotherapy, exercise, of course, training we spoke about. We know how important is exercise for our mental well-being as well, and not just physical. And I think most of the people nowadays, in this pandemic, when they stop exercising, or they stop going to work, I think they start having different symptoms, and I heard a lot of people that have joint pains. And I think in we could really use this time to learn a lot about ourselves. So we need to try to get the good things out of it. Then, of course, we have herbal medicine, the one that I'm going to go over a little bit in a little bit more detail at the end. Reflexology, I'm sure most of people are really familiar with reflexology. And in Chinese medicine, also they have like a face map. So basically, around your face, each part of your body, it is going to be emphasized on your face, so I'm going to go more precise on it if somebody is really interested. So around here would be the kidneys. Okay, also the kidneys would be around your underneath your eyes here. Then we have in this part here, we have the gallbladder. So basically, to be more precise, what it means, when you see certain irritations, dry skin, infections, being, having heavy bags, it means that something, it could be something wrong with that organ. Obviously, I don't want to scare you here, but it could mean something. Then we're going to have over here, we're going to have the bladder. Okay. In the middle here, we're going to have the stomach. Liver would be on each side. Okay. Then they saying that if, especially for women, if you see that your eyebrows are getting really, really thin here, you could have a thyroid problems. Again, I don't want to scare anyone, but maybe you could get it checked. And it's not always the case, but in traditional Chinese medicine, they really believe that this is really, really working. Then your heart would be in the middle of your nose over here, and it's going all the way to the tip of your nose, and on the sides over here. Then right here beside your nose is going to be your lungs on each side. Okay. Underneath your nose is going to be the spleen. On the top lip is going to be a stomach. Bottom lip is going to be your intestines. On each side of your mouth here, it could be your colon. You know, you see certain people that have really, really deep wrinkles here. Kidney here again, and bladder on your chin here. Okay, stomach also go around here. Okay, on the lines of your cheeks here. And kidney sometimes you can see on your ears as well. Okay, certain signs. So as I said, a good example would be, you know, here, because it's liver, you know, when you get these two lines here, it could be a liver sign. And then when you get a wrinkle right in the middle, it could be your stomach. Okay, so maybe, you know, maybe when you have time, you look over this as well. To make more sense, you know, probably if you're thinking of reflexology, same thing, you know, in reflexology, in your feet, you have every single organ. Also in your palms, you can check this, and even on your tongue. In traditional Chinese medicine, on your tongue, the same, you're going to have your organs in there. Other holistic treatments would be aromatherapy, where certain oils are used, you know, as maybe you can put in your room an infuser. So they're supposed to be really good, because when you inhale certain oils, they can treat certain organs in your body. Same like in herbal medicine, when you are drinking tinctures, you know, when you inhale is really working. So this would be really suitable for maybe babies. They're not able, or small children, they're not able to take tinctures. Obviously, again, I'm not intending to treat anyone. And, you know, there are certain oils that could be too strong. So obviously, before you're using them, you need to talk to a specialist. Then also you can have a ozone therapy, a bound therapy, but this one would be, you know, really specific. This one you would go to a clinic, so, you know, wouldn't be something that you do it at home. You really need to do with, you know, to do it with a specialist. Ayurveda medicine is coming from India, and basically is relying on three types of body. So you have Kapha, Pitta, and Vata. So Vata would be the people that would be kind of thin, really, really active, kind of mind racing all the time, always busy, doing a lot of things, and kind of people that are usually cold, you know, physically I'm talking. And then Pitta would be people that will be really motivated, one of the best athletes in the world, like winners, you know, but they'll be really fiery. They'll fight straight away, and they argue with you. So I have to say there is not kind of a type that is good or bad. Each of them, you know, they have good points and bad points. And then the last one is called Kapha. And this one would be people that would be kind of, you know, a little bit bigger body, stronger body, you know, like full lips, big eyes, really good skin. And this would be people that would be really calm, you know, nurturing. So this would be kind of like, you know, one of those really nice granny that's cooking for everyone and is looking after you. Kind of this would be the traits of this one. So basically, Ayurveda medicine, what they are trying to do, all of these three, they are calling them doshas, they have to be in balance. So when you have an imbalance of one of them, there's the time, let's say you have Pitta imbalance, it means you're going to be really angry. When you have Vata imbalance, you know, you could be really, really cold. And, you know, when you have Pitta imbalance, you could be really hot, really red, sweating a lot, you know, so this would be the traits for it. But in general, everything that has to do with holistic medicine, naturopathy, as they call it, basically what it means that everything has to be in balance, you know, as a conclusion. You need to do absolutely everything. Like you need to sleep well. So sleeping hygiene is very, very important. The best time to sleep would be from 10 at night until 6 in the morning. This would be ideal. I was, I think, talking in other seminars, you know, for ProFi Fitness, and I was mentioning then that at every hour in Chinese medicine, certain organ is working and certain things are very suitable to be done. Okay, so in regards to sleeping is 10 to 6. Obviously, you know, 12 to 8 is not too bad either, but it would be really, really important to get these hours. You know, unfortunately, nowadays, most of people are doing the opposite. They are staying up all night on the phones and then they sleep during the day. So, you know, these things is not good at all. Nothing in the world, not even good nutrition, good training, nothing can replace sleep. That's the time when our body is replenishing. That's the time when our body, why not, is getting cured, basically. It's very, very important also not to eat for 12 to 14 hours for the same reasons. Because when the body is in this fasting mode, this is the time when the organs are repairing, let's say all the illnesses you have, unless it's something very, very serious and you have a really unorganized lifestyle for a very long time. And what's really important, simple things that people are not really taking in serious, for example, waking up in the morning, going outside in fresh air, walking barefoot, um, take a few deep breaths, doing certain breathing exercises, very, very important. Then maybe to do a little bit of spiritual work, whatever you would like, yoga, praying, why not even stretching, something really, really relaxing, listen to relaxing music as well. Um, I would really advise you to have a lot of warm temperature water in the morning, up to 4 glasses is possible. Of course, I would like you to start with less, but as much as possible, get to 4 glasses. Very, very healthy. You eliminate all the toxins in your body because you didn't eat all night, and you were fasting, and the body, as I said earlier, was working really hard to treat, you're going to have a lot of toxins that needs to be eliminated. Okay. Also, it's very, very important here to, to have uh, lymphatic system needs to be, working really well as well. But I'm going to talk about it later on in the end when we talk about herbal medicine. Um, Other things, they are really important. If it's possible to stay outdoors during the day, like if you're working a lot, you need to have a break, especially when you sit down in front of the computer. Very, very important at some points to go out in the sun, because when you don't have the light, it's not really good. Artificial light every day, is really, really damaging. So you need to go a little bit out, and as much as possible when you are working to try to be in a room where you can have the natural light. It's very, very important. Simple things, even like meeting your friends, talking about your problems with someone. Why not have a counselor, psychologist? Is absolutely really, really important to let everything out. Every time you build things inside and you get mentally exhausted, then your body is going to be physically affected. For example, you could have really severe joints pain, and the only problem could be the stress, and you could go to the doctor and you find nothing. And I know many times, people are like, what's going on, I'm sore, and the doctor keeps saying I have nothing, he cannot find it. No, many times they don't find it because it doesn't exist, and um, everything is happening because of your mental stress. So that's why I would really advise everyone to look after their mental stress, because I think it's the most important, and then think of curing, other things. In regards to toxins, I'm going to go over a few simple things that you can do, to eliminate certain toxins from your body. So if you like, to do like to clean your lymphatic system, cleaver's tea will be really, really good. Then if you like to get out, toxins from your skin, infrared sauna, sauna will be really good. Now, obviously, on these times, unless you have it at home, it's not happening. But I can see that the life is changing, and people are starting to get a lot of things at home, because they are deprived of a holiday. Also, if you have baths with Epsom salt and seaweed, this would be really, really good for your skin. In regards with your kidneys, you can use parsley tea. So I'm talking here like actually getting parsley, from the market from the shop, organic if possible. Boil it for 15 minutes, then let it cover for another 5 minutes, and just drink the water from it. It's very, very healthy. If you like to detoxify your bowel, your bowels, maybe you can get some bentonite clay or psyllium husk as well. But be careful with this. It's really, really important to drink a lot of water, so every time you are taking certain fibers, even like oat bran would be good, wheat germ as well, why not. It's really, really important to drink a lot of water, because otherwise, if it happen that you have certain colon problems, for example, you can actually harm yourself. So be really careful, especially with elderly, and do not advise people just to have a lot of fiber unless their medical history, because simple things like fiber, it can actually damage you. If you have joints problem, if you get like a magnesium spray is really, really important. If you have cramps, or if you're really constipated, it's really important to have massage with olive oil, usually clockwise, it's really important. And you could even add some magnesium spray on that, and it would be, really, really helpful. Most of people nowadays are actually, deficient in magnesium. So I would really, advise, to get that checked. And if you don't get the possibility to do your bloods, maybe just have something like 2 walnuts, or every single day for a while, to make sure you have all the magnesium they need in your body, because this mineral is responsible for a lot of things in your body. If you like to get rid of heavy metals, I would advise you to have a coriander tea. Same thing, you just buy coriander from the shop, but I would like to put like a good bunch of it, probably if you buy like a pot, maybe half of it. And same thing as the parsley, you can boil it to do like a decoction, and drink it. Just I would really like to have it, after it's cooling down straight away. Do not let it, for the next day, because it won't have the same effects. There is a big problems with heavy metals nowadays. Unfortunately, it could be in certain foods, it could be in the water, it could be in certain injections. Pollution is really bad as well, so I would say, you could get this checked as well. Also, another big problem nowadays would be the uh, internet that is everywhere. Everyone has Wi-Fi, and I would really advise you, if you can, to turn it off during the night. It's really interfering. I heard a lot of researchers talking, even interfering with your DNA. Again, as I said earlier, it takes years of trials until they're actually allowed to say, okay, it's official. But I would really like you to take that in consideration, and try as much as possible to reduce your time that you have on your phones. Obviously, if it's work, you don't have a choice, but at least watch out with your kids. Try as much as possible. Maybe if you get games for your kids, try to download their games, and don't keep them constantly online, because researchers are saying that you'd even get tumors on your brain from it. So you have to be really careful with that. Also, another problem could be the geopartic stress, the electromagnetic problems, like basically there are some disturbances that are happening on the earth, so nowadays people, when they're buying a house, they are bringing certain specialists to check the geopartic stress, so this is something that you should take in consideration as well. So of course, you cannot move your house if you bring someone, but maybe you can move your bed around to have it in the right place, to make sure you're not going to be affected. Now I would like to go over certain plants that would be used in herbal medicine, because as Hippocrates was saying, first of all, we need to try to treat ourselves with food. So the most important thing is to eat healthy. Then we need to make sure we are training, whatever training they could be. If it's not possible to do uh, all of them, as I said earlier, even walk outside half an hour every day, maybe in the forest, listening to music. Try to get yourself, in a as happy mood as possible. Then we need to think of, taking certain supplements, vitamins, herbs, and only then, if this is not working, then we can move on to medication. Okay, so in general, herbs are classified, taking in consideration the actions they have. Okay, so for example, certain herbs are called nervines, so they act on your nervous system. They are trying to reduce your stress. So some examples of this would be valerian, I'm sure you heard of it, hoops, skullcap. Uh, Sometimes you can find them combined. Then we can have antidepressants, something like St. John wort. I'm sure you heard of it. Again, I don't want to diagnose everyone, so obviously you can go to health store, you can get a little bit advice from there, but if you're not sure that you have something, I would say just take a tea. A tea is absolutely fine because it's mild, but do not go the road of just taking a tincture just because you read something somewhere and you order it online. You can order them online, but I want to let you know that even though it's natural, like when you think of homeopathy, it doesn't have side effects or all the other ones. Herbal medicine is not that it has side effects, but the problem is they're really, really strong. So you have to be very, very careful. For example, if you are already taking a medication that is doing exactly the same thing as the herb, okay, because then it could be too much. Now I have to say that most of herb are called kind of smart herb, where what they are doing, they are putting everything in balance. For example, if I'm thinking of hawthorn, which is considered really good herb for cardiovascular system, um, is regulating your blood pressure. So if it's too high, it's bringing it down. If it's too low, it's taking it up. But very few herbs, they are called Schedule 20. Those herbs are really, really strong, and you have to be really, really careful, because maybe the only thing they're doing, they're bringing something up or down, and in this way, you have to be very, very careful. So people, therefore, people they are taking a lot of medication, they should be very, very careful, when they are going, on the route of taking herbs. Other example would be diaphoretic, for example, and the actions they have would be to help you sweat. So what does it mean? Taking you out what you have bad. So it could either eliminating the virus you have, or it could create a fever, and it would help you get, all that heat out. So some of these herbs, it could be, some of them are cooling you down, something like peppermint, thyme. Okay. Other plants that would be really good and would be considered diaphoretic would be something like the elderflower. Okay. And I could see, when this virus came along, that if I was going to the health store, you couldn't find these things anymore. um, then certain herbs, they could be hepatic, which obviously hepatic means they're looking after your liver, and a good example here would be milk thistle. um, Certain herbs, they are called adaptogen. Adaptogen means herbs, they are helping you be adapted to the stress around you. When I'm talking about stress, of course, it's about the mental stress, but also with adapting with everything that's happening around you. It could be anything. It could be maybe changing your job, moving in a different country. These herbs are herbs that in general, they are having a lot of functions. It could help you sleep well. It could help you, to increase your energy. It will help you concentrate. Okay, so a good example here would be something like ashwagandha. Now you have to bear in mind that every time you go to look for these herbs, in from the medical point of view, as herbalists, we use most of the times, the Latin name. So if you see two names, you have to be aware there is the same one. It's just we use the Latin name, but of course today I'm going with the English one, so you can find them. For example, ashwagandha, the one I mentioned earlier, would be called, Witania somnifera. Okay, just so you're aware of this. Other herbs, for example, would be the herbs that will help you with the cognition, memory. And a good example here would be an Indian herb from Ayurvedic medicine, and it's called Bacopa Moneri. Okay, so this herb would be really, really amazing for anyone that would have any brain problems, I would say, even people that could have autism or epilepsy. But again, it's really, really important how you assess the person. Okay, so basically, when somebody is going to a herbalist, we take in consideration a lot of things. First of all, what type of constitution you have. Remember, I mentioned earlier the Ayurveda constitutions, the Kapha, Pitta, and Vata. Then we going to ask the person if they are hot or cold, because herbs have energetics. Certain herbs are cooling you down, certain herbs are making you hotter. So this is really important as well. Then we take in consideration um, all the previous medical history, even parents, previous medical history, which is really, really important. If you have certain symptoms, because maybe you weren't diagnosed, but maybe you have certain symptoms in your body. So what herbalists do, we don't actually diagnose someone, but we find out every single aspect of your health and everything that needs to be addresses. or improved, we try to do it. So usually, herbalists are doing formulas. We call it formula, where we're going to put seven herbs in general, and these herbs, they're going to work together, to help you have your body in balance. Most of the times, you're going to have an adaptogen, so it adapt with every stress you have around you. Then a liver herb, because when we try to treat your body, liver needs to function really, really well to be able to eliminate all the toxins from your body. And then whatever is left, just depends whatever needs you might have. Other a group of herbs they would have something that's called carminative, and this is also called aromatic or stomachic, meaning obviously that is looking after your digestive system. Digestive system will be something very, very important, because most of the illnesses, I have to say, they are starting there. Even your immune system, most of the immune system is there. You know very well that is official now that digestion, is actually in a direct connection with nervous system. So there would be something really, really important. That's why if I could add certain things in regards to digestion, would be that in the morning when you wake up, try as much as possible to have the water with squeezed lemon. If possible, do not have coffee on empty stomach, because it's not great, especially if you have a ulcer problem, for example. Again, cigarette on the empty stomach, too acidic. Coffee, even if you put milk, again, is getting acidic. Okay. And talking about milk, I would just like to add here that even though milk is considered healthy nowadays, a lot of the milk products are not the healthiest, just because of the pasteurized that is happening. So if you would be able to get like raw milk, is very, very healthy. Okay. Or if you can get goat milk, is amazing. But the problem is that especially adults are not able to assimilate the calcium from the milk even, and then it's kind of no point really to have too much, because it's kind of doing you more harm than good. But at least if you like to drink milk, please get an organic one. Obviously now, excuse me, I'm not giving out about the milk that you have with your coffee and tea. This is kind of irrelevant. I'm talking about people kind of forcing their kids to have a lot of milk, thinking they are doing good. So I would really advise you, if possible, to give them goat milk. It's hand down much healthier, or at least to get the organic one. Now, I'll be honest with you, in Ireland is not bad, but I'm talking now in general, because in certain countries, cows are not fed, with the grass we have in Ireland. um, was really important as well in regards to the diet. Try to have a variety, and if you are not able to look after your diet yourself, I really advise you to invest in go and see a nutritionist. I think it's very, very important, because to be honest with you, you go one time, but you can really find out what's more suitable for you, and you really need to eat for the type of body you have, illnesses that you could have, and even something like blood group would be really important, and I'll just briefly talk a little bit about it. For example, if you have blood group 0, these people, supposed to have, a bit more protein, like as in meat, poultry, fish, eggs, in comparison to blood group A, where, it would be more suitable to have like a vegetarian diet, because the body is designed in a certain way, and the digestion is designed in a certain way that it's just not able to digest too much meat. Of course, it's really important, when I'm saying blood group 0 is good to have meat, I'm not saying that you should abuse it, definitely not. But there are certain things that you could do, to help with the digestion. For example, if you have some pineapple, it would help with the digestion of protein. Again, even if you are blood group 0, for example, if you have certain kidneys problems, of course, then, you're going to be careful, and, you're not going to have too much meat. So again, you have to look at the whole picture. In regards to vitamins and minerals, most of people would say that you don't need them and you take it from food. Yeah, it's true. But the problem is nowadays it's really hard to take it from food. So if you are able to eat really healthy, organic, you get your vegetable, and fruits, no problem. Otherwise, I would really, really advise you to take certain, especially people are lacking in minerals. Excuse me, but I would really advise you to get your bloods down to find out. Um, there are certain vitamins and minerals that you have to be a bit more careful. Probably already iron would be something that you're not going to take it unless you go and have it checked. Then vitamin A, again, you have to be very careful, especially in regards to kids. Many times maybe you could think like, okay, it's really healthy to give kids carrots, and let's say they are carrot juices. If you abuse something and that child is going to have that every single day for years, it's not going to be good. Everything has to be in small amounts, especially for kids. Even something that's extremely healthy like beetroot juice, it could have too many oxalates, and it could become toxic. Or another thing that I like to touch here would be excess detoxing or fasting or juicing. Okay, so in regards to, let's say someone has cancer or certain illness, juices, yeah, amazing juicing. If someone wants to be on a diet, having too many fruits, in regards to, in a juice is not that good. Would be better to have the fruit, not to mention that, more fibers would be, and the goodness would be in the pill. But I know there are a lot of blenders now. They're supposed to be much better than before. Still, I would really advise to have the fruit and keep the smoothies for kids. Unless you like to do your juicing with vegetables and maybe put just one fruit for taste, then everything is changing. Then it's much better. In regards to fasting is really, really healthy once in a while. If you could do it maybe once every 3 months, or certain people like to do fasting once a week, depends how you can. Again, it wouldn't be advisable for people that would have sugar problems, blood sugar problems, or someone that have chronic fatigue. It would make them even more tired and they're not going to feel good. Um, you have to try to do maybe a fasting that is a bit easier. So fasting doesn't mean necessarily eat nothing. Okay, so intermittent fasting, is really successful. But if someone is kind of weak, or they don't sleep enough, or they're really busy, or they have to do a lot of physical work, what you could do, maybe you could do 6 weeks programs. And it could be something like this. First week, maybe you say, okay, I'm going to eliminate alcohol or reduce it. I know a lot of people won't be happy now. Or second one is coming smoking, reduce or giving up, whatever you can. Third week, maybe you say, okay, I'm going to give up or reduce meat. Fourth one, there is. Fifth one, maybe you're going to start having a lot of vegetables. And sixth one, maybe you're going to try to eat nothing until 12 o'clock. Or, it can be done in very different ways. It really depends at your needs, really. So you can always find ways around it. It just depends of your health, of your client health, why not? And also it's really, really important to try to do what you like. Okay, so I wouldn't like you to start doing every day, maybe just eating raw celery, or just kale and spinach juices, if you don't like it. Try to find something that you can stick to. Like, the best thing you can do is change everything and have these things as a lifestyle. Okay, I don't want you to just plan from tomorrow I'm going to run 2 hours every single day. Maybe you can say, beginning of tomorrow I'm starting my program, and maybe I'm going just out for 10 minutes relaxing walk, or I'm walking the dogs, or I'm taking my baby for a walk, the boogie. It doesn't matter. It could be just not taking the lift in work anymore, or I'm going up and down the stairs in my house, maybe 3 sets every 2 hours, for example. Or 3 times a day I plan to do 1 set of 10 squats, even something like this, and would be amazing. Even 5 minutes of workout a day, it could actually maybe prevent you from having a stroke, or something very, very simple. And I would like to add here that I know, and it's really understandable, certain people are not feeling good and they cannot do nothing, or someone could be disabled. But honestly, everyone can do something. Even if you sit down, you can do certain exercises, moving your arms only. Now everyone can go online and find exercises. Even if you are lying down in bed, and you can do certain leg and arm exercises or stretches every single day when you wake up, even for 5 minutes, and it still matter, it's still better than nothing. Or maybe before you going to bed. But I think the most important thing it would be to be really, really organized. And in the end, what I like to say again, and make sure you don't just do certain things that I had in my presentation, unless you are going to see a specialist. But what I would like you to take on from today, that everyone can start changing their life. And most of the things that I was talking in this presentation, they are actually free. Like, it's absolutely free to go out and walk and do certain breathing exercises, meet your friends, try to be happy. Once in a while, even, see a movie if it's helping you, turn on your Wi-Fi. All of these things are really simple to be done, and it can really, really change your health completely, and you can really be in charge of your health. And, go to the doctor just to check yourself up all the time to prevent the illnesses, that it could occur, and hopefully they will never occur. Thank you very much.